Yes, we analyze a number of different compounds. Among them, we found a lot of pharmaceuticals and personal care products like cosmetics that are used in a daily life of each of us. They end up going through the wastewater in coastal areas, and they populate already very complex galaxy of different chemical substances. We also found pesticides that comes with the agricultural runoff, and also a lot of artificial food additives like sweeteners, stuff that we put in our sweet drinks to not to get calories out of our drinks, for example. They are persistent chemicals that end up into the coastal water and move far from the coast and from their sources. We use different approaches. We have been using sampling from ferries, line ferries that steams along the European coast through the concept of the ferry box. The ferry box has an automatic system where you can literally collect samples by pressing a button on your mobile phone in any moment, and the ship automatically will collect a water sample that will be transported into a laboratory, a chemical laboratory for the analysis. We also use a different concept, the so-called passive sampler. It's a very simple device. It's basically a piece of plastic that has been treated in advance in laboratory to remove all chemical residuals, and then it's deployed in the sea for a certain amount of time, and this will collect contaminants from the water passively by diffusion. This device stays out a few months, up to several months actually, in the sea, and then they are collected and transported to the laboratory where they will be analyzed chemically. Well, this very outstanding infrastructure allow my research and also my community, environmental chemists, to solve a problem that affected our field over decades, which is the fragmentarity of data set. Typically, studies on marine pollution were either very local or relegated to campaign or research vessels. So we didn't have the possibility of consistently collect data along the same transect over a repeated campaign. This permanent infrastructure allows for that possibility. So it helps basically to cover gaps in the spatial and temporal gradient we are monitoring. This is a major advantage for both the advance of scientific research, but also for environmental protection, because the data we provide ultimately will serve to protect the quality of the ecosystem. A nice community of colleagues that have been working together for 4 years now, or more if we consider the previous JERICO. A new community for me, because I'm not an oceanographer. Actually, I'm an added competence into this community. So I believe we are on a roadmap that will go on in the future. We see support from the authorities. We see interest from the scientific community and the users. So I feel the right energy. We are on the right direction.